Hi friends, so it's been a couple days since I got this PC. So far I'm pretty happy with it. However, I think I could want more. So I informed Topton via the support emails, not support emails, basically on AliExpress. I messaged them back and forth and they said they will fix future options. He just said like, hey, just put like a fan in here, maybe cool it down if you want to. However, I'm not even worried about that. I'm actually happy that this top fan isn't working because, everything works out for the best anyway. So I have this PC right now running XMRig. I just figure since it's a low power PC that it could run XMRig very well. For those that don't know what XMRig is that I found a tutorial online using Hero Miners pool mining. You could do MONERO mining with this PC, and with 50% utilization, it looks like it's using 23 watts of DC power directly of electricity. It's running at 19 volts, so maybe 1 or 2 watts extra are being from the conversion from 12 to 19 volts. This is a power adapter I created by using a USB cable with power built into it, spliced into a USB-C cable, spliced into a 5521. Yeah, it's a little complicated, but it allows me to see the power that the unit is using at the time. So let's look at with this on the thing. So XMRig is not producing that much. I think it should be producing about 4. I'll let you know in the comments if I switch up the RAM, because right now I have 2 sticks of RAM, one 8 gig and one 24 gig. See, the CPU utilization is at 53%, and package voltage. So the Ryzen is not reaching more than 85% over here. So that's cool. The SK Hynix, you see, that's really hot, 88. And the Crucial technology, that is the RAM. That's the 24 gigs of RAM. That is the Crucial. Is at 107 Celsius. So I guess only this red one is an issue. However, it's not letting it go past 85. Maybe perhaps that's why it drops down to 3.90 gigahertz, and it's not running as fast at 57% because it's keeping the heat from overpowering it. So we're talking about 85 for the CPU. We're talking about 107. So the SK Hynix is the top one. So this one gets more cooling. So it's getting the heat from the SK Hynix. This 8 gig RAM stick is the one seated on top, getting the fresh air. And this one not getting the fresh air is getting up to 107. So that's pretty hot, but it's not red, so that's probably fine. The Samsung is running at 25 Celsius only? Really? Samsung Magician. 1 second, let's see. Samsung Magician. Let's see what the Samsung really is. Oh, maybe it's at 100 Celsius. We'll go to this. Drive dashboard. Temperature in Celsius. So it's at 91 Celsius. So 85 for the CPU, about 90 to 107 for the RAM, and 91 for the Celsius of the hard drive. On the outside chassis over here, we got 150 Fahrenheit. So apparently that's an okay temperature, Nothing is burning, nothing is smelling funny, everything is fine. So 127 at the front. It is definitely really hot to touch, so it's tough to touch the USB ports. So probably I would plug in a USB-A extension cord here. And probably that's why they made so little ports, because you're not going to be touching this and you don't want to be touching it. So the modification that I would tell these guys to do is, you see over here, I would remove this whole top plate over here and make this all heat fins like this. Just leave the heat fins, take this top off, this top plate, and put 1, 2, 3, 4 screws to install your own fan. So this is a NOCTUA fan. NOCTUA is probably the best brand. You see by size, it fits perfectly. So my plan actually is a little bit different. My plan is to take this guy and put the cooling from, ooh, that's hot, that's hot, that's hot, that's hot. Ooh, fuck. Something like that. You put some of these things on the bottom. What I'm gonna need to do is cut out the metal plate, leave the left side and the right side, and screw onto the metal aluminum plate that's on the bottom that screws in, and allow cold air to come in from the bottom. My thinking is this, is that perhaps if I'm getting colder air, I'm not gonna have all that hot devices sending and cramping the style of the CPU. So it would be cooler, it would be easier for this top plate to cool this down even without this fan working by letting the convection go up. And the cold air from the bottom, see, hot air rises. So we'll just let the coolant more to the bottom. And the idea is to see the before and after. What happens if you install a NOCTUA cooling fan? This is not just any cooling fan. This is the premium silent fan. So it's actually a low speed 4 PWM fan. It's designed for this NOCTUA cooler. I never wound up using it for this PC. Let's see. That computer is on right now. And the top of that cooler is about 129. So perhaps that's probably a normal temperature range. So when you're looking at this, 142, we're talking about a lot less heat sinks, and that fan just by itself is about $120. So the idea with that cooler is that you would put it on the top or the side to give it additional cooling capability. The fans are spaced out evenly like this to allow the hot air to rise very easily here. So what I do like about this is on this PC is that I don't have all those CPU fan noises. Only when the graphics card turns on do I hear any fan noise whatsoever. So with this guy being very quiet, that's going to be really cool. And I also ordered an adapter on Amazon that takes USB port and does it up to the 12. This is a 12 volt fan. Airflow. So without adapter, so there is an adapter. So it comes with a couple different adapters in here. Oh, right here. So I think there's a low speed adapter. So you can make this even slower when you're connecting it to your PC. And this is the extension cord. And there's these little plastic things. So the idea is this. So screw this onto the bottom. And it's going to be like instead of the plate, it's going to be this thing. Yes, it takes up extra space. However, because it's NOCTUA and because it's big, it's not going to have to do high RPMs, rotations per minute, in order to cool down device. The airflow would still be decent, and I would be constantly feeding cool air. I'm going to have to modify this desk a little bit and give it a little bit more space at the top, because right now I have this hot thing, because that's where it's going to live, is right here next to this PC. The goal of this PC is to be quietly, let's say I'm watching a movie, I don't need a 3090 to watch a movie in 4K on YouTube, or like Netflix or something. I just need a basic PC, probably even Intel integrated graphics. But this has the 780M, which is comparable to the GTX 1650. So baseline 85 Celsius CPU, 91 for the NVMe drive. So we're trying to, with this fan, actually cool down those three: the RAM, the NVMe drive, and what else? The RAM and the NVMe drive. And perhaps maybe even cool down the CPU, because it's not going to have to be competing for getting rid of the heat through the top heat sinks, which could have been better. So Topton, take note. You just take this fan, make 4 little screws over here, So just make a heat sink, like just copy this guy's dimension. I mean, don't copy it exactly because that's copyright infringement, but just like a little bit less or a little bit more of the spacing, very similar. Put the fans over here, make them a little bit taller, and then you just put little screw holes so that if a person doesn't like the cooling ability of this PC, they could always add a NOCTUA fan to the top or the bottom, and maybe do the same thing with heat sinks on the bottom, or maybe like make the bottom like a perforated thing, and so that you could attach a fan to the bottom and the top. And you don't even need the headers because you could buy the USB-A with speed control. It also has low, high, and medium settings. So that's the plan. So in the next part of the video, I'm gonna show you the results. What did we get regarding CPU temperature, NVMe, and the RAM? And perhaps I would have a better running ability. Perhaps maybe XMRig is going to do more than 2,500 hashes. However, it might be the situation that it's the RAM. So I might just test it with 32 gigs of RAM, that's 16 and 16, to maybe get a better performance. So we shall see. I think this is going to be a really cool thing. And NOCTUA, man, I love you guys. So if you guys haven't subscribed yet and thumbed up yet, thumb up now. And we'll see you in the next part. So making dreams a reality in this channel. Guys, of course, handling power tools, be careful, wear your eye protection and be very careful because it's your own, body at risk. So this is the design. This is what it looks like. So now the fan is designed to blow to the inside, and I took out the COM port. So the idea is when the fan blows inside, some of the hot air could actually go out the sides through this hole and this hole, and maybe through this little thing. So how did it get connected? Well, first of all, this guy was chiseled off with this thing called DeWalt brushless. What is this called? DCS356 oscillating multi-tool. So this thing is designed to actually be able to cut metal. It says bimetal. The holes were made with these Makita drill bits. What I like about these Makita drill bits is they have this little square tip on the end, so they don't twist around on the inside. And then you have this tool, obviously, for the Makita to drill through there. So, and the screws were used from the original ones that came in the box with this fan, the silver ones. And these black ones I had lying around. And this is the bumpers that by drilling first through that and then using the fan screws to just drill right through to make this, legs over here. So what I'm waiting for is a USB adapter to this. This takes the 5 volt out of the USB and converts it to the 12 volt, and it has a little control high, medium, and low. And so you would be able to get the right output to get this fan doing the cooling into it. Wow. And I also put in two 16 gig RAM sticks, DDR5, 5600. I added extra thermal pad, extra thick thermal pad, Thermal Grizzly. And this, I think, thing looks kind of cool. That's an interesting design. What do you guys think? Comment down below. So next, we're going to run this for a while and do some tests. And do some kind of like a test to see what temperature stuff that we get. By the way, all the stuff that I have here, I bought on Amazon, so I'm going to link you below. So if you buy it anyway, if you need it for yourself, you're supporting the channel and it doesn't cost you anything. So yeah, click the links below. And I also wanted to make it easy for you guys in case you wanted to do such a mod. Because what I'm thinking with this kind of mod is technically you could do that with any mini PC. I mean, that could fit this fan. Even if it's a little bit bigger than the fan, you just cut open the bottom, and this might be a good mod for my GTR 7 Pro. However, that already has a different mod of 10 gigabit. And I'm thinking maybe I could do the 10 gigabit through here, make a hole over here to have a 10 gigabit port instead of just 2.5 gigabit, you know. But that's the next step. First, we gotta get the cooling achieved, and next we're gonna have superpowers achieved. So, yeah. Good news. So, with the right correct memory, two 16 gig sticks, we're achieving 5 kilohashes. That is nice. 5 kilohashes at a 35 watt load. That is actually pretty nice. That is really nice. So I just installed the Universal x86 tuning utility. According to the video that I just watched, there's a way to undervolt the CPU and have it not hit such a high temperature. What's cool about the CPU is that it's set up to not go over 85 Celsius. You see right now it's 73. I turned off the XM rig, so the temperature is dropping down and the CPU speed is increasing. Because when I heat soaked it, it dropped down to like 4,000 hashes or like 3,700, having the universal tuning before. So let's see if I turn this universal tuning utility, if it still maintains the higher hash rate running this thing according to the video. So let's check it out. So this is the settings I chose. I wound up wanting to do the package temperature to be 5 degrees lower, and maybe it did go lower. I just thought the package is what the most important is. I set it to 75 over here because otherwise it was set to 95, and I put the performance mode, and at 50% it's doing 3.65 gigahertz and it's doing 4,300 hashes a minute, running at about 25 watts. I think that's actually pretty decent, considering this might be the effective way to underclock it and still get some decent performance out of it. And let's see, what's the heat like this right now? And that's without this fan connected yet. So 133. 139, okay. And I do have my window fan on right now, so it might be cooling this thing down a little bit. So sticking to the hashes, and at 25 watts, that makes this almost reasonable and solar powered, as I mentioned in the last video. If you haven't seen the unboxing of this, I do a lot of interesting stuff about it. You might want to watch the first part. I'll link it down below too. So the mod is complete. I got the cable. It came with quite of a long case, and I think you might be able to switch directions with here. However, I have it set up now that it blows a little bit of hot air out through the back, blowing cold air onto it. You're gonna see right here. So it's the way I have it set up right now is that it's completely, at least inaudible to me, you know. So I'm not gonna put a test to it. You know, you could tell when a fan is loud. You see the top fan, of course, is not spinning, but there's definitely a difference in the things. So I'm running the normal workload, getting about 4,000 hashes. That's with it being heat soaked. When it's not heat soaked, it gets even up to 5,000 hashes. Package temperature stays the same. Let's see. And the crucial technology, the RAM is running at 85 and 88 Celsius. And I think it was originally something like 95, like or 100 and 107, something like that. I did put thermal pads also on the RAM, and I put 224 gig sticks in there. And you see the SSD, it's actually running at 72 Celsius. See, it's doing the 71 Celsius. So we knocked off probably 10 or 15 degrees. I think it was, at the start of this video, I think it was at 89. So something that's inaudible, and now, like adding a fan that's inaudible and getting this crazy reduction in the temperatures. And I have it right now set to, I turned off the performance, that tuning utility, because that's not necessary. It's running at 54% right now. The RAM is running at the 5600 megahertz. And over here, it's doing 27 watts. 27 watts. The temperature is about 135. And then switch it over to Celsius. That's about 60 degrees Celsius, right? Extreme tuning utility, I turned it off. So maybe not much of the change. So I just turned off the extreme tuning utility. Perhaps maybe that's better because I didn't have the tuning utility on. When I had the tuning utility on, it was actually getting down to even about 130. So the control system is over here, is with that's the NOCTUA NHP1 running a CPU that it supports. So that's completely normal. We got, so what would I say about this? I think this mod was kind of cool. Getting the fresh air to cool down the hot components, because the NVMe SSD is one of the hot components. And also I wanted something to keep all the benefits of having a fanless system, at the same time have it not be so hot. So it's slightly cooled down, at least in the components that mattered. Maybe that this is just a subjective experience. I feel like the computer got snappier, and overall I think it's good to, cool the components. It's one of those things. I have the GTR 7 Pro. It actually has a fan that blows on the inside, to the inside. I actually turned it off because it was too noisy. These little fans are way too loud. This NOCTUA fan is specifically designed for the silent system in mind, an NHP1. So it doesn't get over 1200 rotations per minute. So there's no way that it could actually make enough noise that would actually bother you. I would say overall this is a success. Having a low-powered system with having the 780M integrated graphics, powering it off via USB. Tell me what you guys think. Like, would you want to do such a mod to your mini PC? Is there something that you would recommend? One of the things I'm thinking about is upgrading maybe the networking to 10 gigabit. Just because I guess I could, because I already have the NVMe PCIe card. That's a 10 gigabit card, and all I got to do is just really put it into the second NVMe slot. Or I was thinking about using the AE key, the Wi-Fi card slot, an adapter to an NVMe slot, because however, with an adapter to the AE key previously on other systems, I noticed you're not getting more than 600-700 megabytes a second. So a 10 gigabit card would be running at maybe maximum 600. That's what I saw previously. So technically, I could probably put on that secondary AE key for the Wi-Fi, I could probably put a 5 gigabit card and have it run pretty nicely with 5 gigabit and still have an NVMe slot Gen 3, of course, 3000 megabytes a second to have as a secondary drive on the PC. Or, of course, I could use that slower lane, that AE key, for a secondary drive. However, I'm going to be reading and writing to it at around 700 megabytes a second, at least for my previous experience with the GTR 7 Pro mini PC. And it's a similar, it's a previous generation, the 7940HS, which is definitely no slouch. This 8845HS is technically similar of a processor. It's just it has the AI cores. I'm just wondering what I could do with these AI cores. Maybe this could be kind of like hosting an AI model, some sort of. Maybe I could test out DeepSeek with it. I do have 48 gigs of RAM, so technically maybe I could probably use the RAM as a DeepSeek model type of thing, because it shows up as additional graphics memory. I do also have a 96 gig kit. I could probably put this into here. In my GTR 7 Pro, I have a 96. I could probably swap it out, double the memory on this, and use that AI to run DeepSeek. What would you guys use for the use case of this computer? What I do like about it is I like to have Zen silence, at least as much Zen as I could. There's certain noises that I can't get rid of, such as fan noise. Like for a window fan, I need to breathe. But for computers and stuff, when I'm going to sleep and I just want to leave something to do whatever, I don't want it to make noise. And that's the issue that I have with most computers nowadays. That's why I built this fanless desktop PC, and that's why I bought this quote-unquote fanless, kind of like quasi-fanless. This fan doesn't work, so I'll call it fanless PC. And the graphics, the integrated graphics, is more than enough to watch 4K YouTube videos, which I'm really happy with. So what do you guys think? Thumb up, subscribe, and check out my other videos. I have the unboxing and review of this unit. And tell me what you think. See you in the next one. Bye-bye. Have a great day.